everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's topic, this was actually requested by my best friend Julia. She wanted to learn a little bit more about how pregnancy has affected my emotions and my mental health. So that's today's topic, and if you're interested in learning more, then just please keep on watching. Right off the bat, I will say that I feel like my situation has been a little bit different because of this pandemic. Being pregnant during the pandemic is definitely hard in itself. Like, being pregnant is one thing, but then being pregnant during the pandemic is another thing. But starting off with how pregnancy has affected me, let's start there. Pregnancy, I have said this before, that even if you are planning for a baby or not planning for a baby, no matter what, I feel like women cannot be prepared for what pregnancy will bring, because every pregnancy is different and obviously every woman is different. So, and I told you before, I thought I knew everything and I know nothing. I found out, like I told you guys before, that I found out at the end of May that I was pregnant. And right away, I was scared, because obviously the baby was not planned. But I was scared, I was nervous, I was a little bit excited, but like everything else kind of took over. So more so being scared and nervous is how I really felt, because right away it's like you got to get on the prenatals. Your first trimester, you can't eat certain foods. And you know, my first trimester, I was sick all the time, so I had no idea if my baby was growing, if he was getting what he needed. You know, it's like you never know what's going on inside of your stomach. And that's kind of like a constant worry, I feel like. You just never know. With feeling scared and nervous, I will say, I'm not gonna lie about this, something that was on my mind a lot in my first trimester was the possibility of having a miscarriage. Not because I wanted one, it was just because I had no idea how my body was going to react or how it was going to handle this pregnancy. Because I know a lot of women deal with infertility issues, and I would have never known if I had any infertility issues because I had never got myself checked out. So because of that, you know, that was something that like played a factor in my brain of why I worried all the time, was because I had no idea how my body was going to handle it. Like I said, having a miscarriage was in the back of my mind pretty much the whole first trimester, because miscarriages, unfortunately, they're very common and it can happen to anybody. I'm not saying like it, you know, it didn't help me to think about it, but it was just something that my brain just kind of fixated on, just because I didn't know any, like, how the baby was growing, if I was okay, if I was gonna be okay, you know. So with my hormones kind of like changing in that first trimester, I worried a lot, you know, obviously being a new mom and it wasn't planned, and I had no idea how my body was going to handle things. You know, so many things just played a factor in how I was feeling in that first trimester. It really wasn't until I heard the baby's heartbeat that I kind of relaxed a little bit, and I did not know how hormones would affect me. You have hormones ranging when you're on your monthly cycle, but it's way different when you are pregnant for a whole 9 months. They are way different. So they're not the same, people. It's not the same. So, you know, obviously being scared, being worried, eventually I got really excited. You know, once I found out like everything was okay, I got excited. You know, still scared and nervous, but I don't think, you know, that'll go away. Along with you know, worrying and stuff like that, I became really emotional. And I felt like with that, little things really got to me. And I mean like the littlest things. So I would have tears in my eyes, or I'd be crying. Like I said, small things. I felt like my first trimester, I think I cried the most during my first trimester. I was just a mess. And mainly because I didn't feel good, honestly. I felt like that was kind of like one of the factors that played into that, was I just didn't feel good. Like when I got into that second trimester, I started to feel lonely. And I had mentioned this before. I started to feel lonely going through this pregnancy. And like I said, I have an amazing support system all around me, but at the same time, the reason I had felt so lonely is because I'm the one going through the changes. My body's changing. You know, I don't feel like myself. I don't feel the same. And, you know, even though people were really positive and encouraging, it was like they just couldn't really help me, you know, because they weren't going through it. They're not going through it. I am. So that's why it felt kind of lonely at times, because it was like, it's not like I was around other pregnant women. I have friends that have had babies that, you know, that have been helpful, but you know, it's like if you're not going through it, I guess like at the same time, then it was kind of like I felt like at the time, you know, if someone else wasn't going through it with me, then they didn't get it, you know. But I'm sure other women like have felt that way, and they get it, you know. Another reason that I felt lonely was because I was pregnant. Besides my best friend Julia and my boyfriend, and then my family, and then his family, I didn't see anybody else. Nobody asked me to hang out. I don't know, people just did not want to hang out with a pregnant person, and I totally get it, because like the first trimester, it was tough to hang out with me at all because I was sick all the time and I didn't want to do anything, and I was extremely tired. So I kind of get that. But it's like, you know, as I've been going on, it's like hasn't been the same with like people that
are my friends,
but haven't extended like an invitation to see me at all, I guess. Now I do understand that we're going through a pandemic and everything, but like I'm being safe as I can be, and if you're being as safe as you can be and you don't have it and I don't have it, you know, it's kind of like, well, why not? Whatever. Anyways, I digress. You know, the further you get along, you still don't know what's happening with your baby until you get that 20-week ultrasound. Once I saw that 20-week anatomy scan and I found out everything was healthy and baby boy was just perfection, I felt a lot better. But once again, the further along you get, the bigger you get, the more changes happen. I mentioned my second trimester, I was having a lot of hip pain and pelvic pain, and I wasn't sleeping. So, you know, all of that kind of made me feel like crap, pretty much. I just felt like crap. In the mid section of my second trimester, update on my hip and stuff like that, I did start seeing a chiropractor, so now it's been better. My pelvic area, I think honestly it's that symphysis pubic dysfunction, like that's what they call it. And I think that's just something I have to live with right now, because I think, you know, my hips are starting to widen and like that pelvic area, because hello, a baby might come through there. It's not as bad as it was, I will say that though, because I only really feel it at night, or like if I get up from sitting in like a weird position or laying down, really. So like when I sleep and I toss and I turn from side to side, that's when I feel it the most. But I am just pushing on through with that. You know, it's nothing where I have to take like pain meds or anything. It's not really affecting my everyday life. So yeah. Early on, I mentioned, I think I said this too in this video, but also another video, that I have not felt like myself. And that feeling has not gone away. I definitely don't feel like myself still. Now that I'm in my third trimester, I'm getting bigger, so I'm getting a little bit more uncomfortable. And I kind of feel like I'm going back to being a little bit more tired, kind of like my first trimester, but not as bad. But I'm not like tired, I'm like pregnant tired, if that makes sense. I think it makes sense. It makes sense to me, but I'm like pregnant tired. So it's like I'm kind of tired of being pregnant and not feeling like myself. Honestly, you just don't feel like yourself. I don't feel like myself. I kind of want this baby to be here, but obviously I don't want, can you imagine if I had this baby right now? I would be so overly stressed because it's too early and I'm not ready for it, you know, so heck no. So whatever. So I can definitely wait. We got 12 more weeks or less, which is crazy to think of. Blows my mind. But you know, it's just like 9 months is a very long time to grow a human being and for your hormones to be not the same, you know. And once again, it affects everybody differently. That's kind of it as far as like how it's affected me so far. Something I do worry about and think about, another thing, is postpartum depression. That also is very, very common, and I do not see myself like not getting it because I feel like I would be someone who would be prone to getting it, if that makes sense. So I guess I'm just worried that I don't want it to affect me like really bad, but you know, who knows? But I know that it will be another challenge to overcome. And I, you know, trust my boyfriend wholeheartedly, and we've had conversations before that, you know, this could be a possibility of something that I deal with. And you know, it's just gonna be, my hormones are going from one extreme to being pregnant to another extreme of my baby's not in my stomach anymore. And he's honestly so great with me already, you know, when I'm upset and stuff like that. And I, you know, I've already told him that, you know, it's not gonna be because of you. It might be, who knows. No, I'm just kidding. But like I said, from one extreme to another extreme. And I just think it is going to be something that's going to be scary, you know. I don't know if I'm going to go through it. I don't know. I may or I may not. But it is something that I worry about. And, you know, I just pray that it's nothing that will be anything like really bad, I guess. You know, so that's something I worry about. That's kind of it. I know you know, I kind of hope I described that in a way that makes sense. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's it for today's video. So thanks for watching. Of course, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. If you have a video request, just let me know. Leave them in the comments down below. If you have any questions or video ideas, you can also leave that down below too. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.